Do you need to check your notes or anything? You have
Notes.
notes.
I want notes. I never have notes.
Yeah, that's the problem. Okay, rolling. Go ahead.
Silence. 3, 2, 1.
Now, on the other hand, yeah, and like, so I've been trying to look at more quality games rather than quantity.
Games. Yeah, I agree.
Okay, like someone just sent me a thing about this 1,000-player game that happens on the East Coast. I'm not interested because I know it's going to be a crappy game with 1,000 players.
Full to get.
Yeah, full to get.
Full to get. Yeah. That's the one people were.
How do
very
we know it's crappy? I mean, has anyone from the stable been?
Actually, one of my very good friends went, and he was
Okay.
very, very upset that they put him on an absolutely pointless guard duty for like 6 hours in the freezing cold on a hilltop, completely away from the game, because his team was doing so well, and they might have bought night vision from me. I'm not going to say.
Spending so in a 48 or 36 hour game,
they got reeled in too.
Yeah, on a 48 hour or 36 hour game like this is, spending 6 hours guarding a hilltop sucks. Playing a 9-day long game, spending 6 hours on guard duty is. That's just
No big
Wednesday.
deal. Yeah, exactly. but that also
'Cause everyone else did too.
that also
But
goes
that
goes into what does the
You
player
sign up for
want.
that. You knew what you were getting into.
Right. Yeah, when you sign up for that, when
Yeah,
you sign up.
you don't go to Eastwind with McDonald's Happy Meals. You don't. It don't
Oh,
happen.
I mean, yeah, the guy that runs Eastwind, and it's neat that it's a private little event. It's all this one guy's personal fiefdom. And if you aren't participating, you're gone. And it doesn't matter. You paid?
Which I'm okay with.
Yeah, you paid? Thanks.
I'm totally okay with
Get
that.
out. And then they actually have people that will escort you off of site. You know?
There is no refund.
But he set that
And
standard
there's
and that
no
precedence.
He did, right. So everyone that goes into that knows that. Everyone that goes into AMS games, and I'm just going to throw them under the bus right now because it's easy and fun. Everyone that walks into the AMS games knows, well, if we're losing, staff is just going to reel the other guys back in. It'll be okay
But
for us.
I don't know if they think that, because I don't know if other than us, there's been a lot of reeling in. I haven't seen it.
Actually, so I actually wrote, so I was talking to some of the guys on the Eastwind forum that are local to the D-Day site. And I was complaining about our experience. It happened to us this year. It actually happened to us last year too. Apparently it's happened more years than it's not just Colorado.
But AMS has only been around for 2 years, so it's another organization. You can't compare them. You can't compare them. Maybe the same
yes, I
AO.
can. Same
may have
AO.
been some of the same
staff.
people, but it wasn't all the same. So you can't compare the two dynamics. You really can't.
Yes, because you've still got one group of players that is steamrolling another group of players, and they're getting rolled back. They're getting pulled in by the staff. The same thing happens. It doesn't matter whether or not it happens at an AMS event or a John Lou event or whomever it is.
Then here goes then I'm going to ask you this question.
Okay.
How many people think they're so badass that they always roll everybody and have to get rolled in? 90% of the time it's bullshit. 90% of guys saying we're doing so badass they had to limit us. It's usually a lie. Usually the guys are not that badass. They're not beating the at everybody. Everyone's like, oh my God, you need to reel them in. I've never heard anybody at an event go, we're getting beat up so bad, you need to do something about it. I've heard people divertly do it, like, oh, this rule screwed up, blah, 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 blah. But very rarely has someone been beat down so bad that they've had to be reeled in.
agree with that.
So I would say that most of the time,
It's a stalemate they're trying to avoid.
they're bragging. They're making some bullshit up because they're
when
bragging.
staff does something, it's not that one-sided rolling so bad. It's that they've created a stalemate that's going to wear everybody down, and there's not going to be enough energy left on either side for anyone to go on.
If
to enjoy
there's
the rest of
if
the
there's
event.
this team that's been beating everybody up at Oklahoma every year so bad, then how come we didn't see them? That's what I got to say.
Because they stopped playing.
I don't
for
believe
exactly that
I
reason.
don't believe that. I don't
Let's
believe
shift gears for a minute and go with this team. So say it's a badass team, and they may get a little bit of preferential treatment based on the roles that they get, and staff kind of puts them in good places, right? Normally, those people that are actually responsible and have a commitment to the game normally play those key roles that staff needs them to play, right?
Okay, I've seen that team on the field before.
And I guess, where I'm kind of going with this is a lot of times I'll put my own guys or, guys that I trust in those roles, and they know that because they're in that role, they might be reeled in, or they might be told, hey, take it from a 10 to a 6. The general populace should never be told where they can put any rating system. Now, what it really comes down to is, are those special roles supposed to still be expected to pay that general admission if they're leaned on for game continuity?
Yeah, am I part of game staff or am I here as a participant?
Exactly, and there's where it really comes down to.
I think those kind of people that are in those roles do get special concessions.
Yeah.
I've never seen them not. The problem is that when they do get special concessions, then people start taking advantage of it.
Right.
That's true.
And
I agree.
I have personally seen people take credit for things that they didn't do, you know. And I've seen people get sponsorships that they didn't really deserve, and I've seen people get prizes and things that I don't necessarily agree with. I went to an event one time, and one team out of 200 players won every single gun except for one, and it just makes you think like, come on, statistically it's impossible that 10 guys won 9 guns out of 10 guns out of 200 people that all have one ticket each, you know. And is it the game staff getting them special treatment? Is them taking it for themselves? So when they're in those special roles, there is good and bad to that.
Right,
You know?
absolutely.
And I think that everybody at this table at some point in time has been burned by one of these special roles. Some people take it to heart and they really run with it and they're responsible with it, but it's just like the hero mentality. How many hero players or how many commanders are actually responsible with their role? They aren't. It's the player.
Yeah.
The game staff can't stop a guy from wanting to be a camera whore. How many guys you see trying to get in the camera all the time? You know what I mean? So that begs this simple question, that if players at the base, because they're different levels and different things, are the problems, then is it really the game staff's, is it their responsibility to combat this bullshit?
I don't think they need to combat it. I think if players are the problem, okay, let's just say players are the problem, because players are actually the source of all problems and all remedies.
That's correct.
Because it's all about players. Game staff, milsim, technicals, who cares? Night vision, big deal. It's all about players.
You could play chess and it'd still be the same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah, same thing. You see it in every group.
Yeah, it's all about the individual boots on the ground. Okay, so what at that point I blame the game staff again, because we realize that it's the player problem. Bring your scenario or rule set down to that common level of player. Okay, realizing that I have to make my rules simple, idiot-proof, easy to use.
Which is not possible, by the way, idiot-proof.
I agree.
And what's going to happen is you're going to get these top-tier players that spend all of this time and money and energy, particularly energy, working on their airsoft game and improving themselves as players, are going to look at that and go, that's not for me.
So I wonder if game staff actually think in their head, they're like I had a conversation, I won't say who, but I had a
Can't make
conversation.
everybody happy.
Yeah, I had a conversation with someone prominent in the airsoft world, and I said, I'm not going to that event. Well, why not? Because I'm not going to it. I'm not going to this one, I'm going to this one, I'm going to go to this one. And I wonder if they realize in their head that the reason that certain players only go to certain events is they want a certain level of play.
Yeah.
And if they're
okay.
not going to those events, I can't.
Dude, I'll nail this one. Okay, so last year I went to 5 AMS events. All right, so this is me bragging just a little bit. 5 AMS events. I got my
It's pretty good.
Where's your
my
first
AMS.
5?
Pretty good.
It's at home.
Oh, there you go.
I got my first 5. Rio gave it to me. Thanks.
It's not on your jacket.
It's not on my jacket, no.
Like you're a gear whore.
I'm not a gear whore.
It's on his ceiling above his bed so he can look at it at night.
Yeah.
obviously.
Anyway, so I went to 5 AMS events. I think I've established that I like their product. I like them. I like what they do, and I like where and what they're doing. Okay, this year, not going to 5 AMS events. I am not going. Well, Rebel Yell's canceled, so that doesn't matter. But I am not going to go to Rebel Yell or.
Reindeer.
1876.
1876 is canceled. I'm not going to Rebel Yell. I'm not going to Reindeer Games. I'm probably not going to go to Faded Giant. And I have talked
Blue Gray.
the hell
You're going to
up.
Faded Giant.
You're forgetting Blue
You're
Gray.
going.
I'm not going to Blue Gray. No, I'm going to go to other games.
Okay.
I'm going to go to other games because I kind of the same. I mean, I could go to Faded Giant because it is an awesome site.
It's awesome,
And I've been talking it up to everybody that didn't go for the past year, telling them if you only go to one airsoft game, go to Faded Giant. But I've already been. I know what kind of game I can expect from them. So it's like, so I have to say to myself, I've been to all these things. That may not be the product that I'm looking for. I want to go try a Black Sheep game or a Mindbender game.
Oh, I absolutely want to try other people's products. I really do. And I'm big for airsofters that are not doing their big hosting to be badasses. I'm big on airsofters doing it because it's experience they want. And I feel that AMS produces that product. And I'm going to try a Black Sheep game, and I'm going to try some of the other people's games this year. I really want to go to other people's games. I really do.
Yeah.
It's whose game qualities translate down to me is what I'm interested in. I want to go to Faded Giant this year again. I really do. I'd like to go to Sovereign Fury just because it's new. Everyone wants new. It's like a girlfriend. You always want the new girlfriend. It's just how it is. But
Yeah, I've determined I can't go to the
But-
same event twice. I have a crummy time the second time. It's the first time is always the sweet spot.
But in the same thing, you got to think about it this way. Ask yourself why you have second spot. I know for a fact the reason that one of the events that you went to you didn't have fun at was because of the role that you had assumed because it was best for everybody else. I know you put yourself at less than happy with an event for everybody else's well-being. And that's something that a lot of
So what you're
players
saying
do.
is you got to figure out how to do the stranger. The first time.
Oh yeah, every
Grab my
event,
beard out,
every,
change my
every,
hair.
every event I've ever been to, I've never been a squad leader, I've never been a commander, I've never been anything other than a rifleman because I realized that I don't want none of that bullshit. And the
You
problem
only
is,
want to rise to your level of
the
confidence.
the people that want those roles are the ones making it shit for everybody else.
Look at these hands. Look at these hands. This isn't a count.
We went straight to cheese.
Yeah. No, it's like a general tap. Like, I'm fine with, like, okay, you know that this event is a full steel goggle event. You just stepped on a minefield with shooting glasses.
Yeah.